I got to step into my power so that I can empower more women who were struggling just like I was.
So earlier in my career, I wish somebody would have told me that not everybody wants to see me win. Not everybody was going to be by my side. I had to learn to be my biggest cheerleader, to be the person to go out there and step out of my comfort zone and do new things, try new things, because not everybody is going to be supportive.
Guess what? You're not in it alone, because there's tons of women out there that are struggling just like you, who want to be there to support you.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are in 2025, season 2. This is episode 1. So welcome back to what I thought was going to be an amazing 2025 so far. Yes, if you know, we are located about 35 minutes outside of downtown LA. And if you know, there's been raging fires for over a week now. So we were supposed to kick off this episode last week. And unfortunately, because of everything that's been going on, my heart was so heavy and I just couldn't do it. I ran a rerun, so my apologies for that. I just want to welcome you to 2025 and know that it's going to be an amazing year despite what's been happening. It's a little nuts, and just, I know you guys, my audience, are so kind and so empathetic that you are allowing so much grace for where we're at as far as the show goes. So understand that, the community and I are constantly, supportive to everyone that's been impacted. And we're doing our best to collect donations and so forth to be able to help the victims that have, lost everything. A lot of people that live here in California and even outside of California have a friend, family member, coworker, somebody that they know who's been affected by these fires and how it's impacted their lives. We had a dear friend, and her parents lose their home and everything. And it's just been so heartbreaking. And so we're doing our best to share the information and get them support that they need. And just know there's a lot of fake accounts, fake GoFundMe accounts out there. So make sure you're getting the link from the actual person, from somebody who knows the person directly, so that they are the ones that are receiving the funds. Please reach out. I'm going to continue to share our friends GoFundMe on my social media links and channels. So if you're catching live on E360, then visit me at one of my social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So yes, let's get into it. I want to be able to use this time to really share the impact that is coming for 2025. Now, if you don't know my story already, I set out to step into entrepreneurship back in 2019. I made the decision in 2019 that I was going to do a business of my own. I didn't know what that looked like. All I knew is I wanted to support women on such a larger level. I wanted to be able to provide inspiration. I started a Facebook group out of depression back in 2017. And in 2019, I decided to start hosting summits and conferences. Now, I used to be an ambassador with the Chamber of Commerce for about 13 years. And so I planned events with them. I spoke at the events, or I should say helped them with different types of events, and spoke as far as an ambassador there. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I wanted to bring a supportive atmosphere and event to women to help them thrive in business, leadership, and mental health. Now, granted, when I started that, I remember thinking, that it's going to take me like 2 years to get my business off the ground. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. And I remember reading all of the things, hearing all of the people saying that businesses usually fail within the first 1 to 3 years. And basically the ones that are successful are usually around the 7th year. And I was like, yeah, right. It's going to happen to me. That is so not going to happen to me. I'm going to like this. and I'm going to make it happen. I was going to run with my business and we're good to go. Insert depression, insert anxiety, insert self-sabotage, self-doubt. I mean, you name bankruptcies, car repossessions, you name it. I just went through it all. So I'm like, if you want to know how to fail at your business, hey, I'm kidding. But know that everything that you set out to do and the troubles or the obstacles that you are going to face is for a reason. If I didn't go through what I went through, I would have never known how to show up as the empowered person, coach, speaker that I am today. I promise you. I look completely different. I step into my power completely different. I show up completely different. Like I am a whole new person having gone through what I've gone through. Oops, sorry. It makes me more resilient, more, it gives me so much strength to endure whatever comes after me next. And that's okay. I'm here for it. And so I really want to be able to share this with you, not for, sympathy. I mean, I know you guys will do that, but to be able to really understand that we all go through struggles. Like, I mean, I hear it through amazing entrepreneurs that say, I went through everything you just said. And not a lot of people will share that. I mean, they'll share it when they're like, super successful, things like that. And I'm not there yet, and that's okay. But guess what? I'm not where I was yesterday. I'm not where I was 2 years ago or even 7 years ago when I started my business. I am thriving more than I've ever thrived in my life. But we get to do that. The more we show up, the more we stay connected to our goals and our dreams. You know how many sleepless nights, how many tears, how many bouts of depression, how many isolations. Oh, ladies, can I get a me? Gentlemen, I'm sure you do it too. But can you drop, if you're joining me live, can you drop a yes, isolation? I get it. That was me. Absolutely. Drop it in the chat. If you're catching this on a replay, I still want to hear from you, because that is such a way of being for women. They like, we'll isolate. We'll isolate because, it's in, we get stuck in our mindset, and, it really like depletes us. And so I share this because there's so much strength in numbers. The more you continue to isolate, the more you will spiral. And I'm sharing this because it's happened to me multiple times. So now what did I do? I put myself in accountability groups. I put myself in places where people see me, know me. And literally, if I go silent, they're like, Francine, where you at? And I'm grateful, because the thing is, like, if we're not constantly excelling to our next level, we're staying in the same spot and we're not moving forward. So what is it that you want to go after? What is it that you want to chase? And I do want to make a quick note, because I actually forgot to write it down. I want to share something that my coach shared with me about, how to manifest it, how to make it happen. What does that look like for you? And I want to give like a little bit of the breakdown. I mean, I'm not going to share her notes, but I'm going to share what I got out of it, because, it's something I want everyone to be able to experience. And I've gotten it not necessarily through just her, other avenues of, manifestation and so forth. So let me write this down, or else my awesome brain will forget, because perimenopause, right? We all love that. Of course, I used to have pens galore next to me, and now I don't. So let me grab my pen really quick and write this down, because I will forget to tell you. Manifestation. Okay. And I will put it here so it's right in front of me so I don't forget. Okay. So this whole episode was going to be based upon faith, fitness, and finance. And the reason why is because throughout my years of personal development, of running a business, trying to find that next step in personal development and business development, I found three things. Three things that I needed to really set a strong foundation in. Number one is faith. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about this. Okay. Like I said, if you're joining me live, let me go to my live chats. I want to see you guys here. I see 2 of you are on live, so you better be chatting with me. If I find out who you are and you're not chatting, I'm just kidding. So, the faith component. How many times have you literally, God is like asking for you to go to church. God is asking for you to show up at an event that is spiritual. God is speaking into your ear and you're like, why do I have thoughts of going to church? Why, there's somebody's inviting you and you completely turn away. And then you realize why you're struggling, why you're showing up in different places and you're just like, this life thing is like crazy. What is happening? And so that was me. So I like to say that I was Jonah from the Bible. And literally God asked him to go to visit a city and to help the people there. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm going to go this way. And so every time I share my story, I'm like, so I was Jonah. And literally he had to keep going back and getting him. And while he got Jonah, threw him in the belly of the fish. And, he punished him for doing that. And now there's always this controversy of God doesn't punish. Okay. But God will put you in a position you don't want to be in. And so I always share this because it's like every time I'm in that position I don't want to be in, I'm just like, okay, here, take the wheel. Like, and let me just tell you, it's happened multiple times to me. So how many times has it happened to you? You don't have to count. Just raise your hand. Let me know if you're joining me live. You can say, yes, it's happened to me. Yes, multiple times. Whatever you want to share is completely fine. And the thing is, what cracks me up the most is he keeps chasing me. And I say it with laughter because the thing about my relationship with God is that he finds me through humor. He really does. The other day he did yell at me though at one time. It was the first time he'd ever yelled at me. He yelled at me and I was like, oh, I heard you loud and clear. And it was, I'll share that story, but basically it was to donate a jacket. I had a jacket on me in my trunk actually. And it was my son's. It was an old jacket he was getting rid of. And it was not even an old jacket. It was just, it was a nice jacket, but it was sitting in my trunk for the longest time. Okay. I was in and out and in and out. Can I get an in and out? Hey, everyone. So I was in and out. If you don't know, In and Out is our burger joint here that is absolutely phenomenal. If you've never had it, you have to. And there was a homeless man came in. And the thing about me is I get really grossed out. It's a thing. It's been a thing since I was a kid on certain things and certain smells. So if there's something I see, it grosses me out. Like I don't eat a lot of meat because I get grossed out. It's just something that happens with me. So when I smell certain things, I get really bothered. So there was unfortunately this gentleman who was homeless. He didn't smell too good, and it surfaced throughout all of In and Out. And so I went to I got my food. They actually told him if he could wait outside, they would give him food. And so so he did. And in LA right now, in Los Angeles, it's very cold. Our cold, don't laugh at us, but our cold is around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And so I went to my car with my food and I sat down, and God specifically told me, go give him the jacket. And I said, I will. And he said, I command you to. And I was like, oh, okay, like that. Now, granted, yes, I was disobedient because I didn't do it right away. Because I was like, can I please just eat first? Because again, I share this story because I want you to know, I wasn't not trying to help him, but I was trying to eat so I wouldn't get grossed out. In the event, I was kind of near him and had to be near him for a while. So anyways, and I know this sounds really bad, believe me, I know, but I share with you because I'm always transparent. I'm always, honest. And I shared with you because he told me to do it. He yelled at me, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's never yelled at me. And so I did. I ate real quick, and then I said, okay, thank you, Lord, for letting me eat so that I can go and take this to him and be completely okay, with giving it to him. So I'm grateful that happened, because when I did give it to him, he started to talk to me. Now, it was a very kind of like a babble. I couldn't really understand. And so I just kind of smiled and I said, it's okay. God bless you, but he kept talking. And so I was there for kind of like a minute. And then, I just blessed him and said a prayer for him. But I say this because God will speak to you. And he will command you to do certain things. And I didn't want to be that person that's like, okay, here's a jacket, bye. I really wanted to show up, as God had intended me to show up for this gentleman. And so I was able to give him the jacket. It was beautiful. And I think, like I said, I thank God for that opportunity to be able to support him. And so just know that he will continue to go after you. And I have to open my book because I have notes, you guys. It's so funny because I'm in a Bible group. Anytime you're growing in any area of your life, join a group, join an accountability group where it's you and other people. I can't stress that enough. You can continue to try doing things on your own, but I promise you it's going to be not only a lot better, it's going to get you better results when you're in community. And so one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, and complete transparency, I've never read the Bible all the way through. I'm always in certain books because that's where I'm led, or that's the Bible study I'm teaching. That's what my church is talking about. So things like that. But I've always wanted to read it all the way through. And so I joined a Bible group that literally is the Bible in a year. So we're going through the Bible in certain sections throughout the year. So I'm grateful for that group. It's ran by my friend Natalie. Absolutely love her, which I'm going to be sharing an event her and I are doing next month. So here are the things that God has placed on my heart that have come up in the last 2 days. And I start laughing because, again, he shares these with me because he wants me to share them with you. So I'm like, okay. I mean, there's been times where he's told me things and I'm like, you want me to say what? You want me to tell them what? Like, I'm telling you, he will use you for his good, and it's all good news. And let me just tell you, and I hope I remember where it's at, but he will always go after the lost sheep. So if you know, that is from a particular quote in the Bible. And I remember going over it recently, and I was just like, I even prayed and I said, thank you, Lord, for coming after me. So there's and I know for all those that study the Bible, there's a verse, in the Bible that talks about him going after his lost sheep. It's a parable. And it's like, why does he not attend the 99 that are still there? The ones that are faithful, right? Those are the faithful servants, but those are the faithful sheep, right? He's using it in a metaphor. And he chases the one that got away. And he's like, because my faithful are already there, I'm going to chase the one that got away. And so there's a whole meaning behind that, because the thing is, he's using his warriors, and that's who we are, boots on the ground warriors, for his good. So we are going after the lost sheep. And let me tell you, this lost sheep has been lost so many times. It's almost like, get back over here. I keep getting redirected, and I'm okay with that. It's just, and I'm grateful for that, because that's what God's love is. That's who Jesus is. He loves on you so much that he will chase you down and keep reaching out, asking if you're ready. Okay. So you have to understand that your foundation should be for the glory of God first. And let me tell you, I was that person that literally was like, oh my goodness, all these people preach the Bible and they're preaching this and they're preaching that. And it's like, oh my God, I would never do that. I can't do that. So embarrassed. I don't know enough. Like, that's crazy. How do they do it so confidently? I remember seeing it all the time. I could not pray. I couldn't pray in front of people. I couldn't pray for others. Even till this day, I still get tongue tied. And so, your number one foundation should be faith. Find a group, find a small group, find a church, and if you're not ready to go inside to church, there's online. I have an amazing online church that I go, through, and it's Grace Church in Hensley, Arkansas. And so, but in my local community, I go to Calvary Chapel. And so just stay connected. You have to stay connected. Okay, so I'm going to read these really quick. And I'm going to be sharing more as I go into this next month's event that I'm going to be speaking at. Number one thing he wanted me to share is I asked God what he wanted me to see. Whenever I'm in the Bible, I ask him, what does he want me to see? What does he want me to share? Okay. Number one, he told me temptation. Temptation. Oh my goodness. I was just like, okay, how many times are we tempted by sin? How many times are you tempted every single day? How many times? Can we just get a hashtag temptation? It's okay. No need to say it. You could say hashtag temptation. It's all good. Just know, right? Number two, he told me patience. Patience. I was like, OMG, try to share patience to a bunch of single women who are looking to find their mate. I'm just saying, try telling them patience. It's definitely been an interesting few years. Let me just say that. And the third one he wanted me to share was control. Oh my goodness. I started laughing. I was like, okay, you're going to have me do all these three, right, at the event. And yes, I am a speaker at a Women's Rising Retreats next month in February 22nd. So you definitely want to grab those tickets. Actually, today, early bird registration ends. And so I'll drop it in the chat on my social media channels. And then I'll also share on the screen right here. And so those three things, temptation, patience, and control. Can you drop it in the chat if you're joining me live, if that's ever been something you've had to deal with? I just want to know. And I want to share this one because I remember underlining it and say, okay, so it was this, I underlined it for the men. In Genesis 3:17, he says, all your life, you will struggle to scratch a living from it. So basically what he's talking about, because the whole Adam and Eve, their betrayal of eating the fruit, the forbidden fruit, he basically, he punished women by sharpening their pain during pregnancy. And then he punished men saying all your life, you will struggle to scratch a living from it. So like throughout your life, you're going to struggle. And in parentheses, he said, somewhere in your life, you're not living, or somewhere in your heart, you're not living it out to its true potential. So if that spoke to you, any of these words that I shared for women, it could be men too, temptation, patience, control, or men, somewhere in your life, you're not living, or somewhere in your heart is not coming forward, then yeah, that was for you. And let me see. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to share for now. So I had to share that because, like I said, he put it on my heart to share with you all. And that was that. So I was like, all right. So I will dive in deeper into those three areas of temptation, patience, and control at the event next month. So it's going to be a Women Rising retreat that I have partnered with my good friend Natalie Soriano. And she hosts these retreats, and they're very spiritually led. So I'm going to share a little bit from our last event. This was last year, and it was such a beautiful experience. So I'm going to leave the link once we're done with the live I'm going to show it on the screen so that you could go straight to the website to register. Today is the last day, January 15th, to register for early bird. And then it goes up to, I want to say it's $50 right now, and it goes up to $65. So let's go ahead and share.
Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you want is mine. Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you want is mine.
So that was us at last year's Women Rising engagement. We all had a phenomenal time. And oh, you guys got to see my whole background. Look at the mess. Like, no, it's not messy, but you know, crazy. So it was a beautiful experience, and you really get to be in community with these fabulous women and lifting up in spirit. So you're going to have speakers. I'm going to be one of the speakers, and then we're going to have amazing vendors. Lunch is going to be served. So come join us for a day. It's going to be February 22nd. Actually, I didn't even put the date, my bad. So it's going to be February 22nd. Let me put it on the screen so that you all know. And it's going to be in Glendora, California. And I'm so sorry for those that are not in town to join us, or if you want to come join us. It's going to be February 22nd. It's a Saturday in Glendora, California. So I would love to see you all there. Would love to meet you, pray for you, and just be in community together. Okay. So that is our foundation. Number one is faith. You will stay connected when you stay really connected to your faith. I promise you. All the struggles you're trying to endure and try to do on your own, you're going to have to give it to God. Okay, next one. Number 2 is fitness. Oh my goodness. Sorry. This has been such a struggle for me. So fitness is like, I'll get into a routine. I'll start doing things, I'll start losing weight. I'll start doing strength training, and I'll start doing all these things. And then boom, something happens, right? So it's a constant step back, right? Where I do it and then I'd fall back, and then I do it and then I fall back. So personally, working with a coach to really get to the mindset of like, hey, this needs to be a, what's the terminology we use? A non-negotiable, meaning like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because the foundation of your body is going to help you excel into the goals and dreams you're working towards. So when I set out to do the business that I had always envisioned, it was going to require a new me, a completely unrecognizable me. And so in order for me to get there, I needed to do something for my body. I needed to show up in a way where I could be strong, where I could have energy, stamina to get me to do all the things I'm doing. So like right now, I keep struggling with migraines. And it's like, okay, hey, why am I struggling with migraines? What am I doing? What am I not doing? What are my habits? What's my morning routine? What's my evening routine? It all comes together. Plus, if I'm not eating the right foods, guess what? Hormones go crazy, perimenopause goes crazy. So things just start getting out of order. So I'm in a mastermind with my coach, and one of the things she said, which I thought was so powerful, is she asked us, and I don't want to mess up the words, but she asked us, so basically, what is that one thing that you love? That one thing. What is it that you love? When you get home, you want to relax and do what? or when you get home, or when you get on your phone, you want to do what? And it just brings you peace, or it just brings you, what is that one thing that you just like love or can't give up? What is it? Drop it in the chat. I'm curious. If you're joining live, or if you're joining, on replay, hashtag I love this or whatever. Let me know. But I knew what it was. So one of the things was, now let me share, because we're all in a different space in our life, right? How many of you are part of the 5 a.m. club? Raise your hand. That's not me, by the way. How many of you are part of the 5 a.m. club? If you don't know what the 5 a.m. club is, it's you getting up at 5 a.m. to go do your workout, to go sit in your prayer, to read your Bible, to wake up, make your coffee, get ready. But it's to really focus on you. It's your time. It's slow morning for you. Get your day started, kind of thing. Now, all of the people who have been successful, that, millionaires and, 6-figure, 7-figure earners, all the things, have said they have a routine. They have a morning routine, and it's the same every day. And it usually starts at 5 a.m. Usually starts at 5 a.m. I think I did the 5 a.m. thing once in my life, maybe twice. And it's just, that is rough for me. It is really rough. And again, I want to let you know that, and again, I'm not trying to, I'm not holding you back, or I'm not pushing you forward. It's knowing your body. Because when you're ready to get into that 5 a.m., you're going to be a different person. You need to show up differently. You need to think differently. You need to be in the right mindset for it. And so I told them, like, in this mastermind, we have to share. So I told her, it's the 5 a.m. club. I don't want to get up. And she goes, well, now you know what you got to do. I was like, oh, man. So I know. And she goes, and that's the thing. It's that one thing you don't want to give up that is going to propel you to your next level, to the greatness that you're chasing, to, that your higher self. It is going to propel you. And I already knew. I knew. I was just fighting it. I'm just like, oh, it's rough. Because then another thing is I'm dealing with is vivid dreams. So when I have vivid dreams, I wake up very exhausted, very tired. And if I'm not getting enough sleep, my brain is just like a fog. It's a fog, and I have to take a nap. And, and then I've been like scolded about naps, but I'm like, you don't understand. I'm like, I need a nap in order to function. If I don't allow myself to get a nap, there's like, why even do work? I'm just going to sit here just like a zombie. And so, but I got to look at my habits. I got to look at what I was eating, what I was doing when I was trying to go to bed, because you're supposed to turn off electronics 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. You're supposed to wind down as you're getting ready for bed. And let me just share, I was doing sugar. I did sugar before bed. Like one night I did, I think I had a gummy bear. My friend gave me a gummy bear, and I was like, oh, this is good. So like I had a gummy bear. I didn't think much of it. Sugar. The other night, I don't know about you, but when I get migraines, my teeth kind of get numb. So I love ice cream. I don't know why, but the ice cream helps. Like, it's almost like putting an ice pack on your head, but I love it on my teeth when I get a migraine. It's really weird. And so I had ice cream, and it was really good. So I ended up eating it all. I was like, this is so good. So now granted, although I ate it like around 6 o'clock and then went to bed that night at 10, it still got me. So again, really understanding what you're doing, how you're sabotaging your own body. And we do it. It happens to the best of us. But knowing and really making a conscious effort of setting yourself up for success and having a plan to do it. So like being intentional about it. I was listening to my pastor. He has a podcast called Off the Cuff, and I absolutely love it. Him and his wife were talking the other day, and I didn't get to finish it, but what I love is that, you know, his wife is a nurse, and she does, she does, integrative medicine. So like where it's holistic, where they look at the root cause of why things are happening to your body. And on a previous episode last year, I brought in physician assistant, health coaches, nutritionists that talk about in depth of how our bodies can rejuvenate themselves if we're applying the right types of foods, you know, like not hormones, but like adjusting our hormones. Like sometimes like we don't even realize our body is reacting to different things as we're evolving and getting older as women. And so it's really understanding. You know, my pastor said, be intentional. What are your actions? Are you getting up and preparing your food? Are you setting yourself up for success? And one of my favorite quotes is by Benjamin Franklin. He says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that, I remember reading it years ago when I was in banking, and one of our CEOs, you know, president of the bank, he had it on his signature line. And I remember getting an email, and I read it, and I go, that is such a good quote. And the thing is, like, I was a single mom. I was always on the run. I was always on the go. And so when you realize your day can spiral out of control because you didn't properly plan, that is going to remain in your head now. Because when things don't happen for me, when I'm like not ready with something, and I'm like, oh, and I always replay, it's like on repeat now. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. So whenever I have to show up a certain way and I'm not prepared, I'll pray. And I'll just tell God, guide me. Whatever it is you want me to share, whatever it is you want me to step into, like, who is it that you want me to be? Let's do it. So sometimes you'll see me show up where I didn't prepare anything. But because you know, God spoke to my heart and my heart spoke to you all, I'm okay with that. And so, you know, there's certain things that I'm just like, absolutely need to prepare for. And there's other things where I'm like, you know what? I'll let God take the wheel. And whenever I do prepare, again, I still bring him in on it. And so in fitness, you have to show up for yourself. So do stuff that is going to help you align with your higher self. What does that look like for you? You know, because fitness can incorporate so many different things. Walking, strength training, yoga, what else? Pilates, stretching. So there's just so many different opportunities, calisthenics that you can do to work out your body. And you can do so many things from home. There are so many things online that you can do. There's 7-minute workouts, people, 7-minute workouts. So it's like, it's one of those things, there's no excuse, you know? And so I'm in an accountability group of people that have faith, fitness, and finance in their forefront, that foundation that's going to set them up for success. So make sure you're aligning with that. What is it that you're doing daily? Do you know that I'm reading things that are talking about like your feet, your legs? You have to constantly build those muscles, because over time, those muscles are going to go away if you're not continuing to move them. They're your foundation. So as you get older, you want to be able to stand up. You're going to be using the core of your legs. And so take care of your legs, take care of your feet, take care of your body, so that you are providing this foundation that God has given to you in such a loving way. And you're feeding it the nutrients that it should have in your body. And again, I say this because I know that my body, I gave it junk food. I do love sweets. But guess what? There are sweets out there that don't have a lot of sugar. So I have to, take out the things that I know that are not good for my body, right? I don't drink as much as I used to do, like every now and then I'll have a glass of wine. And so just, it's who you get to become to get you to your higher self, your next level. Okay. So understand that it's all how you show up and what type of intentionality you're going to have so that you get to those goals and dreams that you've always envisioned. So like when I said, I don't know if I said it here, but I said it in my live that I am working on intention and goals that I set back in 2017. So who I was back in, 2019 is who I am becoming. Who I was back in 2019 isn't who I am now, but it's the goals that I set is what I'm doing and becoming. So I am without a doubt very intentional and focused on everything that I set myself out to do back when I started my business in 2019. And you're going to see it happen throughout all of 2025. As long as you're following along, you're going to see me drop weight. You're going to see me show up different. You're going to see me speaking at different events. You're going to see me showing up. My goal is a TED Talk this year. So you're going to see me. Just continue to follow along because I'm going to do things that I've said I was going to do, and I'm going to make it happen. And I want that for you. So know that this is all in support. I share this all because I want you to get to your next level, whatever that may look like. And if you need any guidance, of course, I'm here. Plus, I'm launching oh my goodness, your inner confidence challenge. So ignite your confidence. There you go. Ignite your confidence coaching program. I'll have more details next week. But really, I wanted to sit with you and share the whole faith, fitness, and finance foundation. Lastly, let's talk about finances. Okay. Was this a obstacle for me? Okay. I know I've shared before, but understand. Oh, my hair is just in my way. Understand that whoever raised us, whoever showed us different things, their beliefs, their values, their ideas, basically imprinted on all of those on us. Okay. But it's one of those, I always share, it wasn't your fault how you were raised, the circumstances, that you experienced. It's your fault if you decide to stay there. So if you're not growing, you're stuck and people say you're dying, if you're not growing, it's like your knowledge, your brain is not receiving anymore. You're just stuck. You're stagnant, And so, I share this because I want so much for you. This is why this show is called You Were Meant for More. Okay. So finances. So funny stories. Back when I was growing up, I'm sure you've heard it. If you have, let me know. You can tell me. And, you know what? Hold on. I always check my Facebook, and this time I didn't because sometimes Facebook it blocks me. It doesn't go live. Okay, there it is. I'm going to edit it just in case some of you guys are, joining me and making comments. This time I didn't because sometimes Facebook doesn't. Oh yeah, there's Tony. Hey, Tony. I love it. Tony always gives me hellos. You're like one of my biggest fans. I love it. So I'm one of your biggest fans too, Tony. Actually, I'm going to have Tony on a future episode because he's going to be sharing all about his entrepreneur journey, and it is amazing. I'm going to be bringing in speakers every now and then to share this entrepreneur journey or to share something of value with you all because this is our goal. This is our focus for you, that you really step out into your power and purpose this year in 2025 and be intentional about it. Okay, so finance. Grew up with the concept of, money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have enough. We can't afford that, all the things. So whenever I saw money just left, constantly flowing out. And so understand that, I needed to redevelop my money story. I needed to refocus all of that. I struggled with so much in my finances. Like, I didn't even want to do my taxes. I was so scared to do my taxes. I was so scared to even look. I was scared to even start the process. So I understand there's a lot of women like me out there, probably some men too, but I just could not fathom just doing it. I would just cry. I remember my body would just break down and like get so stressed out because I didn't want to do it and I didn't know how. I was so like, paranoid about it. And so it's really having an amazing relationship with money. So money flows to me daily. Money, I am receiving. I'm in abundance of money. How do we get to show up with money? We get to show up amazingly with money. There was a budget that I needed to do. There was one thing that one of my mentors said, know your numbers. What does that mean? It means know your numbers of what is coming in and what is going out. I absolutely love that. Now, how many times, if you were like in my space of like not knowing, where you tried to do it on your own, you tried to create a spreadsheet and you tried to do it on your own. Well, one day I finally found a spreadsheet that not only gave me the breakdown of monthly, but it gave me the breakdown of weekly. Oh my goodness. Once I saw that, it was a game changer because I was like, oh, now I know what I need every week and every month so that I can make that and then some. So just it's knowing your numbers gives you so much power and authority over your finances. Now, there's some of you, or maybe in this situation where like you don't even want to look at it because it's like, I don't even have enough. Everything's just going out. Okay. Make it a point to sit down and be strategic about it. What do you want to, remember, we're going to go into this manifestation. So what is it that you want to see? What is it that you need in your bank account every single month? And then I want you to add an extra 1,000 or an extra 2,000, an extra 5,000, whatever that may look like for you. And then I'm going to show you how to get it because that's what we're working on. We're going to do that, because you are going to be receiving. You are a money magnet. And I want you to say that every morning when you look in the mirror. I'm a money magnet. Money is flowing to me all the time. And as soon as I started saying that, money was coming to me every single day. And I was like, hey, all right, I'm receiving. But sometimes what happens is we get stuck in our head of like, oh my God, there's another bill. There's a bill. Oh my God, all this money is leaving my account. I never have enough. Be careful of the words you say because your conscious mind and your subconscious will hold on to it and be like, oh, we don't have enough. We don't have this. We don't have that. And then that's how your money starts to go and go and go. So I am receiving money. I am receiving $5,000 a month in my bank account. I am so grateful. And when you pay bills, blessing upon that bill, I'm receiving twice as much back. So on like everything that you do and say needs to be intentional. And I got to the point where I said, okay, I need a mentor. I need a mentor for my business because when I started business, I didn't know what that looked like. What did the finance look like? I had nobody in my family teach me about business. I had to figure it out on my own. So talk about like investing and all the things. And so I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars investing into myself over the years. And people were like, well, how do you do it if you don't have any money? If there's a will, there's a way. You will receive that money. And when you do, invest it into your business and then invest it into yourself. You have to constantly do that as you're thriving. So finances are super important for you to really get a hold of. And if you want any of the things I've talked about, I should say like, I'm going to be sharing like a couple things that I talked about in the show. One of it is like the GoFundMe for my friend. I'm going to be sharing about, what was it? Oh, next week I'll be sharing about my program. But I'm going to also share my email, because I want you to be able to email me if there's anything that I've shared in the store in my show. Like, for example, if you're struggling with your finances and you can't see a clear picture, this budget sheet is amazing. Like, I want to be able to share it with you. You know what I mean? I think I found it online and it just worked, and I absolutely love it. And so you can email me at francineayala.com. I'm sorry, Francine at francineayala.com. And you can just, in the subject line, budget sheet, or if there's if you want to join our, our accountability group on faith, fitness, and finance, email me accountability group, in the subject line, just because the thing is we get emails all the time. So if I don't know what you're asking for, just again, make sure you put it in the subject line. And I'm excited. I'm more than happy to share more with you. So that is, again, you have to have all these three foundations: faith, fitness, finance. They're all going to work cohesively together to get you to where it is you're headed next in your life. You have to stay grounded. You have to stay connected. And so I'm going to share a little bit about the manifestation part, okay, as we wrap it up. I'm keeping an eye on the time. I'm making sure I don't go over. Okay, so as far as the manifestation part, the thing is, anytime you're looking to manifest something, and I'll share a quick story. Back in 2021, you know why my bra keeps doing that? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just open and honest. Is because I'm leaning forward, and so when I lean forward, my shoulders go like this. My bra goes down. So let me go. I'm supposed to be sitting up straight. Okay, sitting up. I knocked over my water bottle. Sitting up straight. Okay, so back in 2021, I made a decision. I was like, I'm going to go travel around the U.S. for 2 months. I'm going to make it happen. Now, if you don't know already, I love traveling. And this was the year my son decided to move out. He's like, Mom, I'm going to be 25. I'm moving out. I'm like, peace. I'm like, bye. And he's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to go travel. So I literally put my stuff in storage, sold my car. Yeah, I mean, crazy. And put my bed at my mom's house, and I took off. I took off for 2 months on the Amtrak, and I started traveling around. I went to, because people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. It was so, so fun. If you've never done, I was a single mom at the age of 17, people. And my son, who I raised, was about to go off on his own. So I was just like, what do I do? Something I've always wanted to do. And it's like, hop on the Amtrak, I mean, granted, I do fly around to different locations too, but I thought, how fun would this be, stopping in different locations I've never been to? So I took off from LA. I went to Arizona, visited my aunt and uncle, and then I hopped back on the train, and then I went to Texas. I had never been to Texas, okay? So I hit San Antonio was first. Then I went up. So I went to Austin, and then I went to Dallas. And my friend from Arkansas met me in Dallas, and him and I went to a baseball game. And then we drove to Arkansas, where him and his family are, and absolutely love them. They're my family, by the way. And I stayed in Arkansas, and then they showed me around over there. And then I hopped back on the train. I went to Chicago. And that week I was in Chicago for my birthday, and my good friend Veronica flew out there and joined me. So spent the weekend in Chicago for my birthday. And then I hopped back on the train. I went to Michigan. I went to Grand Rapids, Michigan, which I've never been to. I'd been to Chicago before. And Michigan was beautiful. She showed me around and everything. And then from Michigan, I met my friend again in Detroit. So I went to Detroit, went to the Motown Museum. So my friend, he ended up joining me again in Detroit, and we rented a car and he drove, which I was so grateful for. He drove to Niagara Falls. Oh, you've never been to Niagara Falls. Anyways, after Niagara Falls, went to New York. After New York, went to North Carolina with family, friends, and then went to Tennessee. And anyways, 2 months, had to go back. Amazing trip. I can't even begin to tell you. But this is what happened. I knew I wanted to go. I was going to make it happen. I didn't know how, but I was going to make it happen. You heard how I sold my car. So what did I do? I went to AAA and I got all the books and I got the map, and I went to Amtrak and I got their map. I got their where it went, the different areas and all the things, and I mapped it out. I mapped out what I wanted to do. I got excited about it and I made it happen. And they're like, oh, Francine, but you sold your car. You had the opportunity to do that. And it's not. Yes, I had the opportunity to do that. But because I had so much intention and so much drive and excitement for this, I made it happen. So the thing is, like, when people talk about like their goals, their dreams, whatever it is they're chasing, the amount of money, the business, whatever that looks like, what type of excitement or planning do you put into it? This is how I'm telling you, you have to get excited. You got to feel, you got to see, you got to write it down. You got to read it. You got to be intentional about everything. Do you want that house? Do you want that car? What does that look like to you? Feel yourself in the car. Feel the excitement you would feel being in it, driving it. Speaking of which, I got to go to the Lexus dealer soon and go take a look at my Lexus. So again, I want that Lexus. So guess what? I'm going to go to the Lexus dealer so I can drive it and feel it and know the excitement I'm going to have when I buy my Lexus. So these are the things you got to do to be intentional and really put yourself in there, in it. Put yourself in the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look for a house. I'm going to go look for the house of my dreams. And if you don't know, it's going to be a house in OC that has a balcony so that I can overlook the fireworks of Disneyland. So when I get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, I can have my balcony. Or if I'm at night and the fireworks are coming in, I can have a glass of wine as I'm looking at the fireworks. That is a goal. That is a dream of mine. So I get to feel it. I get to talk about it. I get to share it because one day it'll happen. And when it does, you guys will all see it. And I'll revert you back to this episode and be like, listen to the last 10 minutes of, my goals, the faith, fitness, finance of 2025. And you're going to see me share, or you're going to hear me share exactly what I want. And then you're going to see it. So just know everything that you set your heart and your soul out to do can come together as long as you are putting it down and really manifesting what you want. So that is it, you all. That is it for my show today. Next week, I'm going to share a little bit more about the program that I've launched for 2025. I can't wait for you all to take advantage of it. If you are ready, if you're ready to really step into your power, purpose, your inner confidence is going to share it, and it's going to come out in you, and I'm going to take you all the way through it, and it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for next week. I'm going to be coming back and breaking that all down for you. And if there's any questions or comments that you have, please send them or comment on the lives if you're joining me on my social media platforms, or send me a email, as mentioned, Francine at francineayala.com. And I'm grateful for you being here. Thank you so much to all of you for the growth of this show. I see the numbers coming in and I'm so excited to have you here. So wishing you an amazing 2025. Let's go. I mean, there's no more waiting. Let's make it happen. Let's make our dreams come true. So reach out if I can support you in any way. And like I mentioned, we're still collecting donations and things like that for the people that have suffered from the fires here in LA. So if you want to join us in that, if you want to support, reach out and just let me know how you'd like to give. So grateful for you guys. Have a blessed evening, day, wherever you're joining me from, and I will see you next week. So until then, remember, you are meant for more. Take care.
I want to get to know what you do, what inspires you, what you enjoy.
My ability to lead really impacts women on a larger level because not every woman has the same story or the same journey. So Understanding where they've come from and where they want to go helps me be the leader that I can, so that I can show up in a space of authenticity for them.